what the universe will do during this process, this happens to everybody, it's going to make you face everything that you're scared of. Everything that you're scared of. Not being able to make an income the traditional way you used to. What other people think of you. You know, whether or not you can learn to like own your voice, speak your truth. Your family relationships, your romantic relationships. Every single one of them, it's going to purge. It's going to purge until you shed all of the layers of the unauthentic self, and you can actually look at yourself in the mirror and be like, oh yeah, so that all happened. And so what that looked like on the outside was a loss of my house, you know, closing my company, moving from Atlanta to Colorado. I spent 6 months on the road traveling with my 2 kids, and finding a job as a campground manager. I have like 2,300 acres here in Colorado, and 8 months out of the year, I live here in my fifth wheel. And then the other months of the year, I rent some land down the hill. You know, I only work for myself. So like, instead of trying to find different corporations and brands and news ops to like front and face, I make my own content. I'm at We Are Christ on TikTok. And I spend a lot of time being me, like just being me, like, which is, you know, I used to commute. I remember one of the worst commute I ever had in Atlanta was, I mean, sometimes it would be upwards like 2 hours and 15 minutes, sometimes 2.5, from where I was all the way on the Northwest, all the way to Norcross. Mm-hmm. Like this idea that all of my life was being sucked into, I had no time for my own brain. I had no time. And I was so caught up with what everybody else would think, or can I say this and still keep my job? And so I had to find a way to, you know, and so, you know, I just lowered my expenses. I sold all my shit. You know, when you live in a fifth wheel, like the only things I have really are the things I enjoy and use on a daily basis. Right. But all that other stuff I had to get rid of. And so I had to like decouple from materialism. But see, I could not have written this story for myself. The only person that can put you, this is like a Christ story. This is like a story that God writes for you so that you can shed all the stuff systematically and get to a point of actual freedom. And so I'd say, you know, I'll be 38 next month. I am the freest that I've ever been. I am not the most financially secure that I've ever been. I am not the most, you know, I used to have a $3,000 a month mortgage, and I drove a Mercedes, drove Lexuses, Audis. Like, you know, I was just living for stuff, and I don't live for stuff anymore. So like, I go skiing a lot. Like, I go rafting, you know, I stay away from people.
So how did your family take it as you started to research and start to learn all these information? How do your kids look at you? Do they look at, oh, mom's kind of crazy? Like, how have you been able to I'm just curious.
I remember when, I'm sure there's been times that luckily my youngest one was maybe 5 or so. And when I was going through it and having like, he's 10 now, past life sort of memories, and I was having this like sort of feeling of like, my youngest one was all about it. He was like, absolutely, I remember mine too. Like, because kids, right? Because kids, like, he was all about it.
Yep.
And my older one, he'll turn 18 this month, which is crazy. Man, the way he looks at the world now is amazing. Like, he questions everything. Like, there is nothing that he does not say, what is the real meaning behind this, right? Mm-hmm. You know, and so I think that my kids will at least have the ability to choose what life they want and I think that that's all anybody ever wanted. Like, at least give me the information. Like, do I want to like buy into the capitalist mumbo jumbo, have the stuff, do the thing, work the job? Do I want to, or do I not want to? The problem is that we weren't ever given a choice. We were told, go to school, go to college, do the job, work for someone the rest of your entire life, and shut up about it. And so I feel like at least my kids have enough information to know. I remember that when I watched this reptilian video once,